Sports Talk Show. Your host is here for the show tonight to interview our special guest. Show highlight the Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, boxing, tennis, golf, and racing. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. Tune in for all the news and scores, reporting on the games and so much more. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show. The Alford Sports Talk Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. We are here. We're going to have an outstanding show. Yeah, we're going to do it big time. This is Alan, and we're going to go ahead and kick things off with another wonderful, outstanding show. You're in for a great treat, great time. Buckle up. It's going to be a fantastic ride here on the Friday evening. Feel free to chime in on IG Live, Twitch, that'll be X, and also YouTube. Chime in. We already had some comments already coming in and a lot more. It is going to be wonderful, wonderful time. We're in for a great treat. Speaking of treats, you're in for a great treat because I'm going to go ahead and introduce one of our outstanding sponsors. That is correct. Thank you, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, for being an outstanding sponsor here of the Alford Sports Talk Show. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you visit my great friend, Chef G's, right here at this beautiful location, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, guess what? You can enjoy this great sauce right at FLBBQSauce.com, FLBBQSauce.com. I will let you know there is an advantage by coming down to 301 South 22nd Street. I'm going to go ahead and show you that right here. See that right here? This is, look at that. Look at that. Veteran created, made in the USA. Okay? This box here is fantastic. Look at that weight on this thing. It's got good weight. And look at this, folks. These are glass bottles. Look at that. I mean, you can't tell me this is not awesome. You got bourbon. You got the honey mustard. And last but not least, you got the classic barbecue sauce. And this is fantastic. Let me just show you something real quick here. I want to keep my nice box in order. This is made with bourbon by Dunamis Bourbon. It is delicious. It is fantastic sauce. You got to try it yourself. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. This is a man who has done outstanding work in the community. And this guy's a veteran. Why not support somebody who served our country? Why not support someone who got two tickets, folks, by the Bucks and the Glazer family to see Super Bowl 59 out in New Orleans because of his great work during Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. You cannot make this stuff up. I'm going to show you the picture in just a moment. But that is fantastic. go ahead and get yourself some great sauce. All the music you hear tonight is by Sam School of Songs. I'm going to talk a lot about Sam School of Songs throughout this broadcast. You heard the intro song by Sam School of Songs. Now you're going to hear the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce song. Let's go.
Comes in four varieties, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs, tasty fusion on pork and sausage, classic taste for chicken steak tips, a hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables, Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you guys come on down to FL right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. You can come on down to FLBBQSauce.com. FLBBQSauce.com. Don't forget that delicious sauce. Now, I did want to say one thing. This is a glass bottle. I did want to give that disclaimer to you that if you come down to 301 South 22nd Street, you will get a glass bottle. If it is shipped, it will be plastic because obviously, you know, it can get broken if you do ship it and someone doesn't handle with care. But this is the variety pack. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong with it, folks. Thank you, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce, for being one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We tremendously appreciate you. And we're going to go ahead and get things started. You can chat via live, YouTube, Twitch, X, and IG live. We've already had people chat in, and I will respond to you as quickly as I can. Thank you so much. And let me just go ahead and thank a few people here. Let me go ahead and update this. Let me first and foremost thank AF1. AF1. Reason why I got to thank AF1 is because, man, today the Alford Sports Talk Show went ahead and covered the season kickoff event at Armature Works. It was phenomenal. Guess who was in the building to kick it off? I couldn't believe it unless I saw it myself. Hulk Hogan was in the building, and he did an interview with Jeff Fisher, who is the commissioner, for those who don't know, the commissioner of AF1 at Armature Works, which is an outstanding place in Tampa. If you've ever been to Tampa, that is a place to go. I mean, just very classy, outstanding place to go ahead and eat outdoors. And man, you can't think of a better venue. It was awesome. The Hulk Hogan. You know, I am a real American. And I did an interview with Jeff Fisher. Got to thank Jeff Fisher. I am going to post that interview up first thing tomorrow morning. I had kind of give you guys a little behind the scenes look at the live broadcast. And it was awesome. In fact, we got somebody chiming in here. Order some barbecue sauce. Thank you. Let me order some barbecue sauce. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. That is fantastic. Okay. Just had that That's awesome. Thank you, UFL football. UFL football starts March 28th, 2025. That is correct. I am going to talk a lot about the UFL. Thank you for your support. Appreciate it tremendously. And I am going to talk about the UFL. I will say a bit later in this broadcast, if you do play for the UFL, I don't know. It's going to be some tough love, but I'm going to give it to you the way it's real. I'm going to give you just as if I was talking to my son. It's going to be real talk, and it's come from the heart. I'm going to give you a perspective on the UFL football. We're going to get into that, but I got to thank the AF1 Arena Football for those who are not familiar with AF1. And it was really cool for me to cover this event. It was I do apologize to certain people in the media that I showed up literally right when the venue started. They let me know, basically earlier today. It was kind of last minute, but we made it work. That's what we do at the Alford Sports Talk show. I literally, as soon as I hit the record button, the venue started. I personally like to get at a venue early, kind of settle in, set up, take my time, kind of mingle with the people there, but it still was awesome. And you had Jimmy Hart out there too. That was somebody they didn't advertise. Jimmy Hart was at this event, and it was fantastic. Let me see here if I could. Yeah, let me try to pull up a picture here of it. And man, it was fantastic. It really was. It was an awesome event. Jeff Fisher did an awesome interview. I was just full disclosure. I was supposed to cover the Orlando Predators. For those who don't know, literally when I was talking about getting the credentials to cover the event, which is going to be the home opener, was going to be next Friday, and I got the word that the Orlando Predators are no longer going to be in business. But Jeff Fisher, and props to American Beer too, because Hulk Hogan gave out, because of the sponsorship with AF1. For those who don't know, they had signed a sponsorship deal, Arena Football, with American Beer and Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was there, and he gave out beer. In fact, I want to show it to you. I'll try to, if I'm allowed to show a beer on live stream, I'm not sure, but he did give out kids a beer, and I will put up the pictures of it a bit later. So let me do that. Let me err on the side of caution, but I did cover that event. I am going to put up a lot more pictures of it. Props to the AF1 for sharing the post. That was awesome. I mean, I put it up, and within a couple of minutes, it literally was up on Instagram. But it was fantastic. It got me excited about Arena Football, which starts tomorrow. Arena Football kicks off tomorrow for you guys, the season opener, and it's something that you guys need to come out and support, because speaking of UFL, what destroying one of the more popular players, or if not the most popular player in the UFL, who has a big YouTube following, he did say that a lot of people do not care about alternative football, and that's alternative being AFL, UFL, alternative football leagues outside of the NFL. That's why you need to support. It is great that you watch the sport, but it's also better if you actually come out to the games, buy the merchandise, buy some food, come out and support the event. And I'm excited about it. I am going to be covering the UFL, but I'm also going to be covering the AF1. I got to get used to saying AF1 and say the AFL. But yes, it's AF1. I am going to be covering that as well as the UFL. And the reason being, it was an opportunity that kind of came to us here at the Alford Sports Talk show. What happened was I was covering the UFL. Coincidentally, one of the higher ups of the UFL left for AF1, and they reached out to me to see if I would cover the AF1. I didn't have any objection towards it, especially having a connection in the league. you got to take advantage of those opportunities, because if somebody's going to give you a media credential, you got to take advantage of that, and that's what happened. The opportunity came to me, and I agreed to it, and I'm a man of my word. I did say I was going to cover the AF1 arena football. I was going to actually set up to cover the opening day of arena football here in Orlando. Unfortunately, there is no Orlando Predators, and don't give up the faith on arena football. I do have some insight. Like, I do have somebody who does have a lot of connections in the AF1, and I know there's a lot of ebb and flow. Teams are coming in, coming out. New ownership is coming in. New ownership is going out. It is one of those things. And hey, we are ready for some spring football. I am too. That's right. Horns Forward Podcast. Props to you guys. They do fantastic coverage for the UFL. And believe me and you, I'm going to give you an earful about the UFL in just a moment. But yes, props to AF1 for letting the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show cover today's event at Armature Works. I mean, that's what the UFL needs, man. Hint, hint. Hulk Hogan was at this event that I covered. I couldn't believe it. I mean, Hulk Hogan was there. Jeff Fisher. It's just being at the right spot at the right time. I mean, of all places, they had it in Tampa, which is actually closer than Orlando to me, much closer. And I heard about the event a couple of days ago. I said, hey, do you want me to cover it? I would love to. Lo and behold, they let me know last minute I could. As soon as I hit the record button, the venue started. I was rushing. And when I got to the Armature Works, me being the guy I am, I usually get to events early. There's no reason for me to get the premium parking, pay $20, $30, $40. But I got to the premium parking. I was running out of time. I said, hey, you go, hey, charge my car, let's go, because I gotta get out this car and get there as quick as I can. And I'm glad I did, because literally when I got set up, they started. And that's what happened. And it was awesome. Again, thanks to Hulk Hogan for showing up. Usually guys as big as Hulk Hogan usually show up, just being full disclosure, a name as big as Hulk Hogan, you would expect him to show up late. He was actually there before me, and you could tell he was there for a while, because he came out of the RV that was right behind the background. If you look at my Instagram story, you could see the background of the RV he came out of. So he was there. You could tell well before the event started, and that's awesome. And Hulk Hogan was there. Jeff Fisher, the commissioner. Thank you, Jeff Fisher, for doing the interview. Again, I'll put that up first thing tomorrow morning. And props to the American Beer girls. Props to the American Beer. They were handing out free beer. Hulk Hogan was handing out free beer. I mean, that was awesome. And, he did the interview. Then there was a nice place that was where he went to hand out the bar to hand out the beer. And I was thinking he was maybe going to blow that off. You know how some celebs do. They don't fully fulfill their obligation. But he did it too. And Jimmy Hart was there, for those who were wrestling fans. It was an outstanding season opener event. Props to AF1. Well done. I'm going to put up a lot more pictures and content about it, but I couldn't put it up because I had to do the show. So no issues with that at all. So props to AF1. You're going to hear a lot more about me covering the AF1 this year. Again, that was an opportunity that came to us here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. So thank you. I'm going to switch gears, and let me just get to the UFL. Let me just go ahead and give you a disclaimer right now. If you are in the UFL, a player or coach, this is going to be some tough love. And I'm just going to be real with you. One thing about me is that Allen Alford is not a liar. I feel in being transparent. I feel in being honest. I don't feel in being honest like to hurt someone but I think you need to know the truth. And I'm going to talk a lot about the UFL in just a moment. Let me just go ahead and thank another one of our great sponsors here. And that is, thank you to CTC ME Mortgage. Hey, the AF1 event was in Tampa, but guess what? If you need a home in Arlington, you need a home in San Antonio, you need a home in all 50 states, guess what? CTC ME Mortgage can help you. That's right. Give Kurt McCray a call right there, 346-527-7564, 346-527-7564. Definitely, if you need to refinance your home, you need anything that has to do with a property, CTCME Mortgage can help you today. If you feel like you want to go ahead and check the website first, no problem, go ahead and check ctcmemortgage.com. So without further ado, we're going to play another Sam Scola song. That is the CTCME Mortgage song. Let's go.
CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Make the call today. There's no extra fees to pay. You can take a loan to own a new home. CTCME Mortgage Company, they stand by their loyalty. CTCME Mortgage Company, you can trust their honesty. Get a low interest rate, there's no need to wait. Finance a payment plan. Kurt McCray is your man. CTCME Mortgage Company, CTCME Mortgage Company, CTCME Mortgage Company.
CTCME Mortgage Company. Give Kurt McCray a call. Thank you, Kurt McCray, for being an outstanding sponsor. And happy birthday to her, Kurt McCray. He just celebrated a birthday this weekend. Appreciate you. Definitely thank you so much, Kurt McCray. You're the man. Thank you. Thank you for being an outstanding sponsor here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. So without further ado, let me go ahead and talk about UFL news. Okay. It has been reported, by a couple of news sources. I did hear this from a couple of news sources that there is a labor dispute between the players and the league. That labor dispute kind of coincided with Media Week. It's been reported that some of the players did not want to show up and actually do the photo shoots. And on top of that, it was been reported that they did not want to participate in the interview week. This has been an opportunity. And so much so, full disclosure, the media contact that I have with the UFL is usually always on it. I'm not going to mention their name, but they're usually always on it when I had set up to try to at least do, the Zoom portion of it. If because I couldn't be in Arlington this week. It was a tough week for me. I had a lot of things here. They didn't actually get back to me, and that was very unusual for them. And it kind of coincided with the report of there being a labor dispute. It's hard for you to give me answers when you don't know what's going to happen yourself. So I looked into this, and I'm going to give you my opinion on this. Okay. Again, if you're a player, you may not like this, or coach. The bottom line is this. The UFL, let's look at the facts. Last year, was the first year of the UFL iteration, meaning you had the XFL, but that was a league by itself. This was the first time that the UFL and the USFL, the XFL and the USFL joined to form the UFL. It was the first year of that merge. The league lost money last year. They did not make a profit. Yes, they did well with the viewership, and yes, that was a big thing that they got that sponsor with the U.S. Army, which I said it before a few weeks back. I felt as if The Rock dropped the ball on that. They paid you $11 million to put up 6 posts in 4 months. You had plenty of time to put up 6 posts in 4 months. You have a media team. All you had to do was say, make sure you put up their posts for the U.S. Army so that they are happy with their investment. Obviously, it did not happen. I checked into it. The U.S. Army was right. They did not put up the agreed amount of posts, which led to that lawsuit, which was bad publicity. Now, let's fast forward to where we're at now. The league, yes, it did very well with viewership. 20%, they reported better than they expected. That's very good. However, the league lost money last year. Okay. Another thing is this. It's good for people to watch your stuff, but how many people are actually buying your stuff? What I mean by buying, clout is one thing, folks. Fame is another thing, but dollars is another thing. Meaning, I might have 2, 3, 4, 5,000 likes on a post, but if I'm selling something in that post, whether it be a book or promoting something, if nobody's buying it, I'm not making any money. That's kind of what happened with the UFL. Yes, you had people looking at it, people who love football, but there wasn't enough people going to the games. There wasn't enough people buying the merchandise. There wasn't people attending in the stands, aside from the Battlehawks. And even the Battlehawks towards the end of the year, before they got eliminated, if you paid attention, the attendance was dropping off. Before they got to that last game where it's win or go home, it was fading. Now, this is the first year, and you as a player are trying to risk pennies for dollars. First of all, being in the UFL is not a type of job it's not a job like a Fortune 500 type of company job. It's not a career type job. It's a job where you're trying to get an opportunity to get signed by an NFL team. You have maybe 1, maybe 2 years tops to advertise yourself, promote yourself, and hopefully a team will pick you up. And then you go from there. Still is a long shot, but just being real. But hey, you can't expect you to make $60, $70, $80, $90,000 a year in that situation. You're advertising yourself. I used to be an athlete playing, and I used to do open tryouts. It wasn't for football. It was for baseball. But man, if I had to eat ramen noodles because I wasn't getting paid to go ahead and try out, I had to eat ramen noodles. I had to eat Spam. I had to eat rice and beans for me to show up to the tryouts. I had to take a Greyhound bus. Me and my fiance, but became my wife, we traveled to Boston all over the place. And I wasn't making that type of money like I am now. I had to sacrifice things. If you're a player and get an opportunity to play in the UFL, you got to cherish that opportunity. You need to get in front of every single microphone you can get in front of, and then some. You need to maximize everything. You can't leave anything on the table. And you're just going to risk pennies on a dollar so you can go ahead and get, instead of 55 grand a year, maybe 60, 65 grand a year. That's nothing when it comes to after taxes. But guess what you're risking? You're risking putting the league out of business, completely out of business. Because let's say you win this arbitration. Well, guess what? They're going to make some cuts someplace because they had already lost money last year. And I don't feel as if they're going to make big money this year. Let's just be real. The only way they're going to make money is not just by viewership. That helps. And that helps you get more sponsors, but you still need more fans coming to the game. You need more fans buying the merchandise. To go ahead and even think about doing a labor dispute at this stage in the game is beyond ridiculous, in my view. This is not a job working at an office where you're going to be working there for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And yes, you might want to get better accommodations. This is an opportunity where you can advertise for a year or two, and that's it. And I think even if you stay in the league for more than 2 years, it's kind of like to your detriment, because now you're getting older and teams may not take you in the NFL on that. You know what happens when you're 30 years old and you're running back in the NFL. I don't have to tell you that. But to me, it is just a situation that is just, I normally always agree with the players when there's a dispute. I don't agree with the players in this one. I don't. You can't bankrupt a company that's trying to give you an opportunity in year two. Year two. You can't count the XFL year, because to me, I cover the XFL and you can't really count it because the UFL was a different type of league. You had the USFL and the XFL. It was different to everybody involved in the league. It merged, you know, and what it is like this. It's like this. You know, the situation is like this. You did have fans that traveled. You did have hardcore fans from the Brahmas. You did have hardcore fans from the Battlehawks and other teams. But there was a lot of teams, not a lot, I would say, but there were some teams that just struggled. That would be Michigan struggled. The Showboat struggled. So you were up on some areas, but you were down on some others. And the situation is they lost money. The league lost money. They didn't make money. I can understand if you were doing a labor dispute, if this was year 6 or 7 or 8, and it's showing a track history of making profit every year, like a nice chunk of profit, I would understand it. You're in year 2. This is year 2. You can't bankrupt the company that's giving you an opportunity, because guess what? Destroying said it best. As a person who works in the media, people don't give the attention to alternate football leagues like they should. It's kind of like the minor leagues in baseball. They don't give it the attention they should. Outside of diehard fans, friends, and family that are connected to the league, meaning if you have a son that's playing in the league, you have a brother, you have somebody connected to the league that way, it's your son, yes, you care. If it's a family friend, yes, you would care. But a fan, somebody who doesn't know anybody in the league, like the NFL, they have plenty of fans who don't have any relationship with somebody on the field. You understand? Like they don't have a brother that's playing in the league. They don't have a cousin playing in the league. They don't have anybody connected, but they're a fan of the league and they show up and support. The UFL needs more of that. This was a good thing that they did have a 20% better, outcome on viewership, but you need more than that. And a labor dispute, to me, this early in the game is not only is it, to me, deplorable for the players, because you're losing sight of your goal. I thought that when you signed up for the UFL, you were trying to make it in the NFL. Now, shout out, there was, what ended up happening was one of the coaches did say that not every player in the league is actually trying to make it to the next level. Believe it or not, some of the players in the league they just want to play football. And I can respect that. I can appreciate that. But I just feel as if this is too early in the game for you to be fighting over pennies over dollars. A couple things that I've learned in life: don't risk pennies for dollars, and don't risk pennies for dollars, and don't try to get pennies for dollars. So let me just see here. The pay went up except this one. How could they put them out of business? Okay, good question. The league lost money last year. They lost money. And, The Rock didn't say this, but I kind of think this is what happened. If you notice, The Rock started wrestling again after the first year. I think The Rock needed to get back out there to get some more money to support the league. The league lost money. They lost money last year. They ran a business on a loss. Paying the players more money risks, to me, you being more closer to out of business because now your expenses are going to go up. In the last year, there's been a couple of people that I know for a fact were very, very good employees of the UFL, and they left the UFL. They left. And I know it has to do something about money, meaning the league is not making money like that. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, how real do you want me to get? Put you like this. I'm going to say this, and because I promise you real talk. Cover the media for the XFL. They provided us food if you covered the media. They even gave us a gift if you cover the media. Now, I didn't do it for those reasons. I didn't do it to cover a meal. It was a very nice gesture that they gave me a gift and they provided food for you to cover the media. Not just me, members of the media. Well, guess what happened the next year around? There was no gift to be heard of or seen of, and there was no meals to be seen of either. I had went and covered the Arlington Renegades home opener and had to pay $30 for food. Yes, I did. I went and supported and paid $30 for food. And that just goes to show you there was a difference in the budget. This is clear. I mean, I don't think they would not feed you if they had if it was in the budget. So, and I'm not saying as a complaint or criticism or snipe, but yeah, there was a difference. If the players get an increase in money, it's going to affect its dollars and cents. You have more expenses. Right now, the league needs to get off the ground, meaning they need to make a profit. They lost money last year, and I don't know if they're going to do any better year two because of what I noticed. The Battlehawks, who drew very strong even before they got eliminated in playoffs, so you pay attention, their attendance was fading off leading into the win or go home game. And when it came to the win or go home game, it was around 29,000-ish people, which is solid. Don't get me wrong. But it went down from 33 down to like 31, down to like 29. It was dropping. And who knows if they would have won this game and went to the championship, if it would have helped. And that's the reason why I give props to some of the Battlehawks fans who did show up to the game. I said it. I advertised. I said, hey, if you're a Battlehawks fan and you got eliminated, you should still come out to the game and support it. You should just, for the good of the league, See, that's the thing about people nowadays. They always want to look out for themselves in the immediate fashion. Sometimes a delayed gratification is better. Let me just take a second. Okay, so why are they claiming they're expanding if they're broke? Something ain't adding up. Okay, good question. Good point. I think they're expanding to find areas that can kind of do like the Battlehawks, meaning you have Michigan that wasn't doing great. You had the Showboats that weren't doing great as far as attendance. You had the Roughnecks wasn't doing great with attendance. So that's 3 markets. I think they want to expand really so that they can kind of make up for those areas that are not doing well. And I'm telling you, no business likes to lose money. We all know how greedy corporate America is. Well, if you keep losing money, they're not going to be in this game too long. Yeah, and that's another point. This is not a Fortune 500 type job. This is not, it never went below 30K. Yes, even if it is 30K, this is an opportunity that you have to showcase your talent. Think about it. If you do make it to the league and you get to the NFL like a Jake Bates, and I understand it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. Just because you get invited to a training camp, that's awesome. But to make it to the NFL, it's not easy. But if you do make it to the NFL, guess what? You don't know how the opportunity might end up. You might get $1 million, multi-million-dollar contract. So what is 10 grand going to do for you now? If you look at that in taxes, that's pennies on the dollar. It's not worth you not. First of all, you should not be blowing off the media when it comes to interviews, because I'm one media outlet. If somebody's willing to interview you and you're the UFL, you gotta yes, yes, and yes. Go ahead and do the interview. Take advantage of it, because, like Destroying said it himself, he found out himself, because he does have a big social media gathering. He knows that he probably expected more in return from the UFL fans, but there's just not as many as you think, because of the fact that usually it's just fans that are diehards and connected to the league. I know, because I'm the one out there promoting the league all the time. I want the league to thrive. I know this might sound harsh, but hey, guys, it's not the time to be putting up labor disputes in year 2. The league lost money. It's not, check it yourself. They lost money. They lost money last year. They did not get a profit. Zero. Not even zero. Not even breaking even. They lost money. Let me just see what this says. Battlehawks are fickle fans. First-hand experience at championship. They were terrible hosts, in our opinion. Yeah, it was a disappointment. I'd have to agree on that. It was a disappointment. I really felt as if the Battlehawk fans should have. There was some that did show up. Don't get me wrong, but I felt like they should have really at least halfway packed the house. It's just, I know the game wasn't the greatest as far as, visually and as far as interest. It wasn't the best. It was like they kind of like the worst. I wouldn't say the worst. It could be always worse, but there was not one of the best UFL games that could have been played at the championship. So I do feel as if you want this league to thrive, you have to do everything you can to help it thrive. You can't start blowing off media week. Okay. This is not the NFL. You understand? I know I heard what AJ McCarron said before they let him go. I get it. But AJ McCarron signed a multi-million-dollar contract as a backup for the NFL. He is not in the same situation as most of the players in the UFL. You have to understand the source and what the source resources are. AJ McCarron, he's probably got a couple of million in his bank account. So he's not like one of the UFL players. Roughneck Stadium was an issue. If you go back to the XFL 2023, they were average 11 to 12. Yeah, and it dipped. I don't believe they had that type of attendance in the UFL. And that's the thing. It's great that they have viewership. That's a very good positive. But you still need more fans coming to the game and supporting. That's why I don't think this labor dispute, it was a good thing that it came out to public. And I didn't report it, but I did. Someone had chimed into it last week, and I didn't know what they were referring to. And I checked into it, and then another source did confirm. And the fact that I was supposed to do a couple of interviews this week, and usually, my reliable contact did not respond back. I'm not going to look too much into it. I just think there was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and it's disappointing. I think the players need to understand that, hey, if I need to eat rice and beans and ramen noodles, I need to do that because I need to showcase the world what I can do. And I'm praying that somebody gives me an opportunity. I wouldn't even look at year 2 if you get in the league to this year. I would not even think about year 2. I would think about balling out, showing everything I can on the field, and praying that somebody gives me an opportunity to the next level. That's it. This is not, again, a job that you're working here for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. It's not that type of job, and it's not that type of opportunity. You're trying to get to the next level. And if you're just trying to play football, like it was Wade Phillips who said it. That was a coach who said it. I was in a press conference when he said it, which is kind of surprising to me because he said a lot of the players, not all the players, want to advance in the NFL. Some just want to play football. If you just want to play football, that's admirable and that's great, but don't try to play football and hurt maybe your son or your neighbor's son from playing football in this league. Meaning, if this league goes belly up, there's your opportunity. So you might have 10 grand more in your when you do your taxes, but was it worth it? No, because you killed the opportunity. It's not the time for a labor dispute. Maybe after they've been making profit for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, then we could talk about maybe doing profit sharing, maybe getting some additional revenue, some additional benefits. Yes, but not year two. Not year two when the league lost money. Yeah, it's reality. Like, and I'm not telling you something I haven't done myself. When I was trying to make it as Major League Baseball, I did open tryouts. I went place to place to place with which became my wife. Great support on that. And I was eating ramen noodles and spam. I was eating sardines because I didn't have the money. And I was taking Greyhound buses, which I don't know. I haven't taken a Greyhound bus in years, but that is some rough travel, man. That is some rough travel. But I had to do it. I had to show up. And I was like, you know what? This is all part of the process of getting to be successful. This is what you have to do. You have to sometimes eat those ramen noodles. You have to sometimes eat the rice and beans. You got to make sacrifices. I wouldn't even think about the fact that you're getting paid, even if though it's not. Yes, I understand it's in Arlington, Texas. Making 55 grand a year is not ideal, but it's not the time nor the place to be handcuffing the league. That's a slap in the face. I can't imagine how Danny Garcia feels. The fact that she's given the League of Opportunity. That's what it's called, the League of Opportunity, and you guys are like slapping her in the face and say, "I want more money." Man, it's too soon for that. It was on Fox for not putting their teams in their markets. I mean, everything costs money, and everything costs money, and that's the thing. I think when it comes to markets, you have to really do some really good research. Who really needs a team? Who's going to come out support? I know it might sound good to have a league in a certain city and demographics, but you also have to understand who's going to come out to the games. Who's interested in coming out to the games? Does the area have enough money to support? Meaning, does the clientele, can they afford to go to a UFL game? You have to consider all of those factors. And yes, they definitely hit the jackpot with the Battlehawks. They did very good with Washington. They did very good with San Antonio. Arlington was so. The problem with Arlington is a really nice area that they played in, and I've been to a couple of the games. But the thing about it is you have so much competition. You have within walking distance the baseball field. Then you have Dallas Stadium, right there too. It's just it's got some competition, is what it is. So I definitely I was glad that the players did show up for media day and they did do the photo shoot. That seemed like they kind of rejuvenated them. So that's good. I hope they put this labor dispute, they resolve it peacefully, quietly, and hey, guys, man, you gotta stay on the field. You gotta stay on the field. You can't. You're not gonna make it to the next level if you have a strike. You can forget that. And I will just say one more thing about this too. I've done some research, and I know that if you're a kicker or punter, if you play in the UFL, I'm sorry, if you play in the UFL, you have a very good opportunity to making it to the NFL. However, if you are a positional player, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't feel as if the NFL gives UFL players that get brought into training camp. I don't feel as if they give them a fair shake at it. If you look at the statistics of the players that gone to training camp, they get very little opportunities, meaning very few balls thrown to them, very little playing time. I know there's a couple that was different with the quarterbacks, Luis Perez. I know that there was a couple of them that did get some, but the overwhelming majority, I feel as if they just don't give them as fair shake at it. Meaning, it's not an open competition as you think. I'm competing against somebody in the NFL, and we're going to see who's better. And if I'm better than him, I get the job. There's been a few cases where the UFL player did outplay the NFL player, and the NFL player still got the position. And I think the reason why that's the case is because what I've learned very early in the NFL, media thing is they look out for their own. They are very tight knit, family oriented. So if you outplay somebody from the UFL and the NFL, you got to pray that they take you, because even if that does happen, I know it breaks the heart, but I've seen it where they'll take the NFL player over the UFL player, even if the UFL player outshines the NFL player. So you don't need to do anything to discourage the opportunity. You don't need anything to blemish your look. You need to get in front of every single camera, do every interview with a smile. And if anything, you can use the opportunity as practice, because when you make it to the next level, the NFL, you're going to get a lot more cameras in your face. So use it as practice. Having said this, players, you need to just stop this. Remember your goal. Your goal is to make it to the NFL. Play the 1 year, ball the heck out, hope that somebody signs you, and you're up and out of there. This is not a position where you're going to be sitting there 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years looking for a pension. It's not that opportunity. It's not that type of job. It's just not. Let the league get off the ground. Let the league make some money. Let the league do something positive in that regard. They lost money last year. Do the research yourself. It was good that they did 20% better than expected. But that's the last thing I'm going to say is this, fellas. There's a lot bigger difference from a guy who's been in corporate America sales for over 30 years. There's a lot bigger difference from clicks and likes to buys. There's a difference. Meaning, I could have 3,000 likes on a post if I'm advertising a book or something, but at the end of the day, how many people are actually purchasing that item? How many people are actually buying it? Whether it's 3,000 people looking at it or 100. You might be more successful 100 people look at it if 15 people buy it. If 3,000 people buy it and only 7 people buy the book, you are better off with the 100 people looking at it and selling, 10, 15 books. At the end of the day, clicks of likes don't always translate to buys. People need to, you got to do what you got to do to get people to come to the games and support, buy the season tickets, buy the single game tickets, bring them, their friend, buy some merchandise, support the league. It's like a restaurant. You might have 5 or 10% diehard fans of a restaurant, and you might come there every other week to support. But if 80, 90% of the people in the population are not supporting it, it's not going to do well. And the door's probably going to close. So for the betterment of keeping the league going, you have to grill it up and eat it. Put some hot sauce. Let me get yourself one of those packs of tuna. Put some hot sauce on it and bon appetit. Get yourself some sardines. Put some hot sauce on it. Bon appetit. Get yourself a rapid ramen noodle maker. Go to town with it. Go ahead and get some rice and beans. Go to Aldi and get some chicken cutlets. If you put some chicken on it, there's ways for you to economize. That's what you need to do. And you need to look at it as an opportunity. And guess what? You make it to the NFL, this will all be a laugh. It would be something you could tell your kids about when they get older and they try out for the UFL. Don't kill opportunity for your kids, your potential kids. Go ahead and ball out. So, again, last but not least, I'll just say, usually I agree with the players. In most cases, I don't agree with the players on this one. And having said that, we're going to go ahead and switch gears. Real talk. There's a lot of love. Real talk. I really appreciate the dialogue. It's time to move on when you need to take a sip of water. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and switch gears and talk. Let me actually go ahead and talk a little bit about, let me since we talked a little bit about football, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some thoughts on the Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James. I'm going to give you my thoughts on that, okay? Look, this is what it is. For those who haven't seen it, LeBron James at courtside, Stephen A. Smith was sitting courtside, and LeBron James came up to him and basically told him in not so nice ways, hey, leave my son, Bronny James, out of it. Ease up on him. Basically, ease up on him and cut it out. I'm looking out for my son. I love my son. And it wasn't too kind and too nice, but I'm going to share you my thoughts on this. First and foremost, props to Stephen A. Smith for signing a 5-year renewal with ESPN. $100 million contract is what it's reported as. Props to him on that. That is major, major props. I know that he was trying to get $25+ million a year, but you know what? Getting over $100 million for a 5-year renewal, that's something to sleep at. That is fantastic. That's awesome. So props to him. I'm going to say it like this. This is, to me, this is one of the reasons why I feel like our black and brown community needs to work together. Because look, when Bronny James first got reported that he was going to go ahead and put himself in for the NBA draft and try to make it into the league, and he finally did get an opportunity with the Lakers. I've never heard this word before until the media kept using it, and that was the word nepotism. They kept saying this is nepotism, and a white reporter reported this. And I was like, I've never heard that term before. So what do you do when you haven't heard a term before? You go to Google, and that's what I did. I typed in nepotism and read the definition of it. Nepotism basically is a fancy word of saying favoritism, but it's more familial. It's for family oriented, meaning if I have a son and I'm working for a company, my son becomes of age, he gets his working papers, what have you, and because I'm good with the bosses, good with people at the workplace, they end up hiring my son versus hiring somebody off the street that more than likely has a stronger resume than my son, might even have more experience than my son, but it's not what you know in life, it's who you know. So my son gets the job. That is called nepotism, where it's a family relationship. A fancy way of saying favoritism, but it's family favoritism. So that was reported by most white reporters. They kept using that word. And Stephen A. Smith was only one of the reporters that was critical of Bronny James making it. And I don't think Stephen A. Smith was hating on Bronny. I really think let's take the name off the back for a second. It was just Bronny Johnson or something else. It wasn't LeBron James' son. I think Stephen A. Smith would have said the same thing. He would have said, you know what? I don't think Bronny James is ready for the NBA. And yes, Stephen A. basically said, and he wasn't the only one, that he felt as if the only reason why Bronny James got the opportunity is because of his dad. And most people, I hate to say this, most people agreed with that position, that he would have not gotten a job without his dad's help. It wasn't like Ken Griffey Jr. situation where Ken Griffey Jr., we all knew when Ken Griffey Jr. was in high school and he was in the minor leagues that the kid was going to be a phenom. There was no doubt about his talent. He was that stellar, that fantastic, that great. I'm talking about Ken Griffey Jr. That wasn't the same with Bronny James. People did not feel as if he was at that level to even be, he wasn't even, they felt better than a lot of the players that, that were drafted ahead of him or behind him. They felt as if he got passed up because of his dad. And I hate to say it, but a lot of that does have some truth to it. I know LeBron James doesn't like to hear that, but LeBron James, that's true. And another thing is this. This is the reason why I say the black or brown community, because if Stephen A. Smith was a white reporter that used that word nepotism or said that Bronny only got this job because of his dad, LeBron James wouldn't have gotten his face and did that. He wouldn't have gotten his face and did that. Especially being that the man just signed a $100 million extension. But because Stephen A. Smith is in the black and brown community, LeBron James went ahead and quote unquote bullied him. As an all-pro dad and a dad myself, I didn't agree with this because look, even looking at my son, my oldest son, he's 13 years old. He's not a little boy anymore. As much as I want him to be that same little kid who wants to watch Charlie Brown 1,000 times, who wants to watch Lego Movie 2 1,000 times, he's not that little boy anymore. And it hurts sometimes. And you're proud of him, but it still hurts. It's like the song says, it's hard to say goodbye to yesterday. You add on another 10 years more, and I'm going to tell you, kids, you give them as much instruction as you can, but at a certain point, they have to do their own. LeBron James has to get to the point where, hey, the only way that Bronny James is going to get the stigma off of him being in your shadow, being LeBron James' shadow, is when he starts playing and balling out on the court and showing that he's worthy of the position. That's the only way that the critics will not say LeBron James being his dad is the only reason why Bronny James is in the league. So you could get mad at Stephen A. Smith all you want. Your boy is not a little boy anymore. He is. I get that you're looking out for him. But what you should be saying is, hey, I know I'm your dad and I can't change that. And I don't want to change it. And I love you. But the only way, son, you're going to get the stigma off your back, I know that casts a big shadow, is by you going out and balling out. That's what you have to do. You have to go out and ball out. You have to show your worth, that you belong to be here. That's it. There's no reason for you to get Stephen A. Smith face because he's entitled to his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. If I had a situation where interviewing somebody, and then let's say it was a someone that was 22 years old, I would ask the 22-year-old, do you want to do an interview? I wouldn't ask the dad. I would ask the 22-year-old, hey, would you be interested in doing an interview with me? That's who I would ask. Now, if he or she referred me to their dad or mom, I would follow their instructions. But I would first ask them, not the mother or the father. I would ask them. Now, being in the media, sometimes that works to your advantage, meaning I had a mother who wanted me to give their son as many opportunities as I could in the media with interviews so that their son could make it to the next level. And she asked, really sweet, really nice, and me being a people person that I am, a people pleaser, I said yes, I'll oblige and make sure that even if I do a bunch of interviews that day, I will make sure I circle back with him at some point and ask him for an interview. And I did that. And I understand it was a mom looking out for her son, and she wanted to make it. I'm not mentioning names, but the fact is that, hey, you want to look out for your son or your daughter, but the only way they're going to get past that is if by bawling out. They're only going to get past that by bawling out. At the end of the day, that is the only way they're going to break that stigma. You have to show people you're worth being there. No one ever questioned Ken Griffey Jr. coming into the pros. We all knew he was going to be something phenomenal. And lo and behold, 20 plus years later in the league, he made it to the Hall of Fame. And just because of a 2 or 3 haters, I think it was 2 votes or something like that, he wasn't unanimous. And he should have been unanimous. But that's what you got to do. And I say it once and I say it again. If Stephen A. Smith was white, LeBron James doesn't do that. That's the problem with the black and brown community. If Stephen A. Smith was a white guy who just signed a $100 million contract the other day, and he's sitting courtside. LeBron James doesn't do what he did to him. He just doesn't do it. You can check the facts. Nepotism. I had no idea what that word meant, and they kept saying it. The white reporters kept saying it. I went to Google and found out what it meant. That's what I did. I'll admit it. I did not know what that word nepotism meant. I found out what it meant. It's basically favoritism, but family favoritism. That's, a fancy word. It's kind of like when you have a lens and they say, oh, this lens has a lot of bokeh to it. A lot of bokeh. Basically, bokeh is background blur. People try to use these fancy words and terms to make themselves sound so eloquent and so smart. If you want a lens that has a lot more background blur, then this is a lens you need to look at. They'll say bokeh. Well, nepotism is a nice way of saying favoritism, but it's favoritism when it comes to family. Mother-daughter, daughter wants an opportunity. She gets the job over somebody else who is more qualified. Nepotism is what they felt happened with LeBron James and Bronny James. And I respect and love the fact that LeBron loves his son. You should, as a parent, love your kids, regardless of whether they listen to you or not. At the end of the day, they're your kids. You should always love your kids. You should always be a dad. But I think Bronny James is not a kid anymore. He can do his own interviews. He can stand up for himself. He can say in an interview, hey, I want to break the stigma of my dad that you guys think I only made it because of him. I'm going to prove that in my play. That's it. You got to let it. You got to show the work sometimes. Just show the work. Show the work. So having said that, I don't agree with, and normally I would agree with most dads, but I don't agree with LeBron James. LeBron James should have went ahead and shaked Stephen A. Smith's hand and congratulated him for making a $100 million renewal contract. But instead, he did what most black and brown people do, try to knock down another brother. And he did it, and people caught it on camera. Because I'm telling you, if he was white, he would not have done it. He would not have done it. Check the records. There was a lot of NBA analysts that kept throwing out that word nepotism to nauseum, and it wasn't Stephen A. Smith. And he didn't check none of them. And I'm sure he heard what they had to say. The only way you're going to break the stigma is he just balls out. That's it. Ball out. Show your work. Talking about Bronny James. So one thing that you need to do, if you want to go ahead and make sure you enjoy life and you live it to the fullest, you need to travel. And guess what? We want to thank Pushpin Adventures for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. If you need a foreign travel, domestic travel, you want a destination wedding, you want a group office function that is overseas or in another state, you want any type of concierge service, Pushpin Adventures can help you. Give them a call. Give Monique a call. Let her know that you heard about her right through the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Give her a call at 626-838-1006, 626-838-1006. She has some awesome cruises. Start planning today where you could take either a Thanksgiving cruise or a Christmas cruise. Fantastic service. Let me know how the trip was. Thank you. Pushpin Adventure for being another one of our outstanding sponsors. I'm going to play another Sam Scola song, the Pushpin Adventure song. Let's go.
Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Book a trip with Pushpin Adventures. Travel on a cruise with Pushpin Adventures. Take a vacation with Pushpin Adventures. Tour around the world with Pushpin adventures, push and adventures, push and adventures. Make a reservation with Pushpin Adventures. The best value deal with Pushpin Adventures. Plan a getaway with Pushpin Adventures. Escaping today with Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures. Pushpin Adventures.
Make sure you book that travel today. Make a destination choice. Make sure you let us know about that beautiful trip. Pushpin Adventures can help you. Give Monique a call, 626-838-1006. Again, that's 626-838-1006. Definitely give them a call. They cannot be more ecstatic about helping you out to get that dream a reality. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures, for being an outstanding sponsor. You can also reach Pushpin Adventures at pushpinadventures.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are so awesome. Tremendously appreciate you all. And I wanted to let you guys know that, hey, you have an opportunity in life to, I'm going to talk a little about baseball. You know, we have a nice announcement to make here. Let me just pull this up here. And that is, we're going to be covering the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow. I'm going to go to Tampa Bay Rays camp tomorrow. Go ahead and get some interviews, get some insight on the Rays. As I mentioned to you guys when spring training started, that expect me to be covering now more of the Rays. You know, they don't have a stadium yet. They're going to be playing at George Steinbrenner Field, for those who don't know, in Tampa. But I think there's a blessing in that, because I always felt as if the team should be in Tampa. That's why they call them the Tampa Rays. But they actually technically are kind of like the Giants and the Jets. They don't technically play in Tampa right now. I mean, they played Tampa this year, but they play in St. Pete. St. Petersburg is not Tampa, meaning it's close to Tampa, but it's not the same city as Tampa. A lot common, but they're not the same. But I think that's a really cool thing. They're playing in George Steinbrenner Field. I am going to be at the Port Charlotte camp for the Rays tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some great insight, see what is going on, see what's the deal with the players. And I'm honored to be there, because even though you get a chance to follow along with the team and get pictures and stuff like that when you follow them, I feel as if you don't get as many interviews with the players. And that's the part I love, is getting to know the players. So I'm going to bring you guys some behind the scenes content with the players, the Tampa Bay Rays. Thank you for that opportunity to go ahead and cover the Rays. It's not something we take lightly. We're ecstatic about that and give you a lot more. And that kind of coincides with the Tampa Baseball Museum. You guys need to come down and support. Thank you to former Rays manager and World Series winner Joe Madden for doing an interview with me just this past week. Was it this past week? Yes, well, just recently. And it was right there at the Tampa Baseball Museum. And he said it's a hidden gem. You guys need to come out there and support the museum. It's awesome. It's not a huge place, but there's a lot of things in there to see. You get a chance to be connected with a lot of the Tampa players, Al Lopez being one, and you get a chance to see about Wade Boggs, Fred McGriff, Tino Martinez, Lou Piniella, and some of the Rays players as well that came from Tampa, and now they're enshrined. You know, they had a nice jersey for Doc Gooden. A lot of nice nuggets in there. I didn't want to post up a lot of pictures of the scenery, which I pretty much have, pictures of the entire museum. I purposely did that so you guys could come out and support. Props to the Tampa Baseball Museum. Props to the Ybor City, society as well. Thanks to Arminda Mata and her team. Thank you to JC Newman for that awesome event, the Tampa Smokers event that here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show was a sold out event. I was able to cover. I put some of those pictures up there and the interview. And I got this right here. I got this. See? Tampa Smokers. And the reason why this is so symbolic is that this is part of the history of Tampa. They used to roll cigars in Ybor, and to the fact where they actually had a team called the Tampa Smokers. And that's what the jersey was called. The team was called the Tampa Smokers. This cigar that I have right here in my hand is by JC Newman. You can even see the sticker on it, JC Newman Smokers. You can actually pick up this very cigar this season at all Major League Baseball parks. If you want this same cigar, the commemorative Tampa Smokers cigar, it is available in all Major League Baseball parks starting this season. See, that's some insight that you getting here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. But yes, that is this season. You can pick it up at all Major League Baseball parks. It's going to be available starting this season. Props to JC Newman. Props to them for liking and sharing the post that I put out. Thank you for that event. All of the proceeds to that event, too, were donated to the Tampa Baseball Museum. They need your support. Come out there and support the museum and come out, make a day of it. Come out there and visit and tell us here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show what you thought of it. Give us your review. We would love to hear it. But props to the Tampa Baseball Museum. Props to JC Newman. Props to Arminda Mata. Props to Joe Madden. And Rick Vaughn, Mark Corbett of Baseball Biz on Deck. Yes, the Tampa Smokers. Man, that's awesome. And that commemorated that team way back in the 50s. So it's awesome that that history is still being, remembered because, back in the days, they used to make cigars. And JC Newman is one of the rare cigar makers right here in Tampa, Ybor City. So come out and support them as well. But yes, if you want that special edition cigar, it's available in all Major League Baseball parks starting this season. And to see more about that, you can visit a couple of places. You can visit my Facebook page, the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show Facebook page, and you can also visit JC Newman's Facebook page as well. So yes, that is really awesome. And we're going to go ahead and talk some NFL news. Props to Saquon Barkley getting that contract renewal. He deserved it. It's nice to see running backs get paid, for a change. I know that once you hit 30, you're pretty much out of there. And that kind of coincides to what I was telling you guys earlier about the time frame of you being a UFL to make it to the NFL. After year 2, your chance of making it to the NFL kind of goes down quite a bit because the clock is now against you. And that's why year 1, you get the ground running, you try to get signed. If it doesn't happen in year 1, you go out for year 2, and then you kind of play it from there because that window of opportunity for you to make it to that next level will get smaller. So props to Saquon Barkley. Props to Saquon Barkley for getting that that extension. That's really, really cool. And I do think that that trade that they made to get Debo Samuels to the Commanders, I like that trade for the Commanders. I think it was a good move. It was a solid move, and I like it for the 49ers as well, because I don't think Debo, once they lost that Super Bowl, I think his motivation kind of took a big, big chop with that, because he felt as if they should have won that game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes thought differently, and he won that Super Bowl. And ever since then, I just don't feel as if Debo has been the same player. Not only that, I feel as if Debo Samuel's been hurt a lot. He's been hurt a lot. I think it was a great move for the Commanders. You didn't have to give up nothing but a 5th-round pick. So low risk, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for him, because you'll get something out of him, his production. I think he'll kind of rejuvenate himself, and the Commanders are going to be more dangerous. So I like that move. I definitely do. And yeah, I think it's going to be a great, great, great opportunity for Debo Samuels in a new uniform. But I did want to go ahead and just let you guys know that, there was a couple of things here. Okay. Does Michael Jordan still play? No, he does not. He retired. He retired and is in the NFL and is in the Hall of Fame. Okay. Yes, that was a comment there on Instagram there. So yes, I definitely do think that it's a, the there was a couple other things I'm going to go ahead and go over with guys real quick here. When it comes to the NFL, there's a couple of communications I did get here. Let me just go over those with you here and pull those up real quick. Yeah, so okay. So the free agency questions and answers. So the NFL free agency period is now in effect. It says, what is the time period for free agency signings this year? For restricted free agents is from March 12th to April 18th. So what is the salary cap for 2025? The salary cap is $279,200,000 per club. Okay, all the start of the 2025 league year, which begins 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday, March 12th. So that's when teams can go ahead and pick you up as an unrestricted free agent. So that's really cool. Props to the NFL for sharing that here. There was also something else here that a couple other things. NFL Chargers are going to play in Sao Paulo in week 1. That's in Brazil. So football, NFL returns to Brazil in 2025. And the NFL hosts its 9th annual Women's Forum. So that's something else you guys could check into as well. So thank you to the NFL for those cool things there. Props to them for that. So thank you for sending that here to the Alford Sports Talk Show. And let me just take a look here. Oh, I did want to thank, too, something else. I did want to thank the Fuel Fest. The Fuel Fest. Let me just take this off here for a second. Yes, I did want to thank the Fuel Fest for the invitation and allowing the Alford Sports Talk Show to cover the Fuel Fest. For those who don't know, that is an opportunity for you guys to do racing, and within a smaller area, drifting more or less, and ride go-karts, see some collectible cars. I got to see the old school Knight Rider. They had a Lamborghini Countach, which is not something you see every day. That, the kit car, the Knight Rider, was awesome. And he had the interior looking just like it did back in the 90s. So that was really cool. And that was right here at the Florida State Fairgrounds, March 1st. Thank you, Fuel Fest, for inviting the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show to cover the event. For those who don't know, Cody Walker was there, who is the brother of Paul Walker. And he collects donations for, California and things that are going big there. Tyrese Gibson was there too. You might remember him from the Fast and the Furious and Transformers. Tyrese Gibson was there as well. Props to Tyrese Gibson, Cody Walker, rest in peace to Paul Walker, and Fuel Fest, Fast and the Furious. It was really cool. If you did not come to the event, let me just thank the fans too, the Fuel Fest. They were fantastic. They were really cool. In fact, a couple of people did ask me for a little bit of content. I made someone's day by giving them a video. And if the Fuel Fest is listening, please post up the pictures from the professional photographer. People are asking for them. I even checked the website today to see if it was on there. I did not see it. So, yes, please put up your pictures, and that would be awesome. But if you did miss it, guess what? Tomorrow, if you're in the West Palm Beach area, they are having a Fuel Fest in West Palm Beach tomorrow. If that is not enough time frame for you to make it to tomorrow's event, go to fuelfest.com. Again, fuelfest.com, and you will be able to go ahead and pull up their schedule and their calendar. The nice thing is, the West Palm Beach is tomorrow, March 8th. They go to Georgia and Atlanta, April 19th. California Bay Area is May 31st. And let me see here. June 28th is Los Angeles, California. Tokyo, August 11th. Salt Lake City, August 16th. Dallas, Fort Worth, October 25th. Phoenix, Arizona, December 6th. So they got some shows lined up there. Go to fuelfest.com. If you love collectible cars, you love racing, you love the Fast and the Furious, there is something there for you to see there. Thank you to the Fuel Fest for that outstanding event. Thank you for giving us that opportunity. Really tremendously appreciate it. And, I gotta give props to my man Hulk Hogan here. Gotta give props to my man Hulk Hogan. Oops, let me just put over here. So, yep, there you go. Hulk Hogan, he came out. That's right. My man came out to the AF1 today. Amateur Works was in the building. I am a real American. That's it, man. That was awesome. Make sure you guys check out AF1. Come out, support them as well. And what I did want to say also is, let me just make sure something here. Oh, you guys are fantastic, man. I appreciate you guys. Want to make sure that I didn't okay. Yes. So I will try to make sure put up that Jeff Fisher interview tomorrow morning. And let's see, I'm going to be covering the Rays tomorrow. And I'll keep you guys, of course, up to date on those interviews and content as well. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you go ahead and wrong one. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Allen Alford YouTube channel. And Facebook, Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Instagram, it's Alan Alford _ and X, it is Alan Alford. So appreciate you guys. And you guys are fantastic, man. You really are. And I did want to go ahead, and I did already kind of let the hat out of the bag, but I did want to go ahead, and all the great songs that you heard here on this broadcast is brought by that man right there, Sam School of Songs. That guy is the man. Thank you to songwriter Sam School of Songs and his wife, Mary. It is fantastic. They are from Maine. Every single one of these songs that you heard here, you can hear them again. That's right. They are all available on YouTube and Spotify. Every single one is available on YouTube and Spotify. And guess what? Sam School of Songs is available for you too. That's right. That's his email. singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Don't spam him. Give him an opportunity. Give him a record deal. He doesn't want to spam, just like you and I don't need any extra spam. Singalongwithsam@gmail.com. Thank you to songwriter Sam School of Songs and his wife, Mary. You guys are fantastic. I really appreciate you guys. And again, those songs are all available on YouTube and Spotify. Every single one that you heard here tonight. You're going to continue to hear some more because we are going to go ahead and bring you, once again, some more of that great, great sauce. And let me just say here, let me just make sure I did put that up here. Man, that's awesome. UFL football starts March 28th, 2025. That is correct. That is so true. I'm gonna see if I can make the home opener. I'm gonna see, but I'm gonna go ahead and post this up here. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Make sure you guys don't forget to visit Chef G's right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, visit them at FLBBQSauce.com. FLBBQSauce.com. That is fantastic. So, yes, let me show you this here. This is a glass bottle. I got to be careful with this, man. I got to be careful. You see this? This is in a glass bottle. That is fantastic. And that is mixed with bourbon and Dunamis. Dunamis bourbon. This is delicious. This is fantastic. This thing has some weight to it too. And then you also have the honey mustard. Honey mustard right there. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce right there. And not last but not least, you have here the original. I got to be careful with this classic. The classic. This is glass bottles here. And that is fantastic, man. Make sure you guys go ahead and order yourself some. Really appreciate the order that came through earlier. That is wonderful. Thank you so much, UFL football, right there. And I'll put that banner back up there for you guys. Thank you so much for your support. We really appreciate it. And Chef G's will appreciate it as well. Thank you. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida, or FLBBQSauce.com. FLBBQSauce.com. My man is a U.S. Army veteran, and he does great things in the community. Why not support him? I mean, as I mentioned earlier, the man had gotten 2 tickets to Super Bowl 59 because of his community work from the Glazier family and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by helping out with Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. I know Chef G, he did not do it for the tickets. He just did it because he was trying to help out the community. And lo and behold, they rewarded him with those tickets. See, you do a good deed. Whoa. That just goes to show you, folks, yours will not be, if you order it online, will not be in glass. It will be in plastic. I forgot to say that. This is glass. I got to be extra careful with that. But yes, having said that, Get yourself some Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. You won't regret it. And definitely thank you, Chef G's, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors. Let me go ahead and play that great song here, the Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce song. Let's go.
Comes in four varieties. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, a natural flavor. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce, Florida Gold Honey Mustard on burgers and ribs. Tasty fusion on pork and sausage. Classic taste for chicken steak tips. A hot heat wave on meatballs and ham. It's a cookout treat. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Serve on fish and vegetables. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce.
Chef G's Florida barbecue sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Definitely don't forget to visit Chef G's at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Can't come down to Tampa? That's all right. Visit them at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Definitely appreciate the order from UFL football. That is fantastic. Ordered some barbecue sauce earlier today. Really, really appreciate you. That is wonderful. And yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Chef G's. You know, he's not just a sponsor here at the show. He's an awesome, awesome man. I'm just so delighted to be associated with such a wonderful person. And if you met Chef G's, you'll know why. He's an outstanding guy. And so are you guys too. You guys are all awesome. So this is the part of the show where I'm going to let you guys make sure you have a good weekend. Thank you for watching another awesome Allen Alford Sports Talk show. Thank you to Chef G's, CTCME Mortgage. Thank you to Pushpin Adventures. And thank you to Sam School of Songs. Thank you to all the comments that came in. I'm going to go through them real quick. It was UFL football, Horns Forward podcast. Props to you guys. And all around are you. All around are you. Thank you. Horns Forward podcast. You guys are fantastic. And there was some Instagram comments as well. Thank you guys for jumping in. Trayvon Gordon, Luke Adams, Horns Forward, Jake Green. You know, definitely doing recognizable. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. You guys are awesome. It is so wonderful to be associated with you guys. You're fantastic. And thank you again for supporting the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. You can always visit us there at allenalfordsportstalkshow.com. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Allen Alford. Facebook is Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Instagram, Allen Alford _ X is Allen Alford. And I'm going to try to figure out how to go live on TikTok. I did get the notification I could go live on that, so I'll try to include that on the next show. But definitely I'll work on that. And I appreciate you guys tremendously. I really do. Thank you again for watching another great episode of the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Be blessed, be well, have a fantastic weekend. I will be back next Friday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 8:30 p.m. CST time, 9:30 p.m. EST time. You guys are wonderful. Thank you. Have a great night. We're going to end the show with another Sam Scola song. Thank you. Be blessed. Be well. Take care for now.
It's the end of the show. Let's thank all the fans before we go. It's the end of the show. The Allen Aaron Sports Talk Radio Show. Thanking our special guest. Thanking our sponsor. It's the end of the show. Tune in again for next week's show. It's the end of the show.